This episode of Film Riot's brought to you by Domain.com. Today on Film Riot, we do some Slurpee modding and some CG work. Oh yeah, baby dude. Welcome to Film Riot. Place the thing I say every week here. I'm your host, Ryan Conley. Do you remember last week? Since then, a lot of you have been asking us to explain where we got the wrist weapon, how we made it move, and how we did the lens flare. So today we're gonna do all those things that I just mentioned just a second ago when I said all those things. So those are the things that we're gonna do today. So, yeah. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was bench pressing a car when my little sister showed up with a Slurpee. I was like, hey, that cup looks like the thingy from Cowboys and Aliens, wrist bracelet of doom. Oh, it is. I bet you I could cut the cup off and use it as a prop. And then I did. First I cut off the bottom, then down the side, then peeled away at the cup to clip the nubs that connect the cup to the wristband. Once I had it free of the cup, it was still a bit big and uncomfortable for Josh to wear, so we lined the inside with some black cloth and we were ready to go. This $7 cup turned prop looked surprisingly good, but still needed that extra something to make it work really well, and that, of course, was a lens flare to match the movie's version. So we had to add these bad boys digitally, of course, using Optical Flares from Video Copilot, which is a $129 plugin for After Effects. To add these little shiny devils, first make sure you have the lights on when you're shooting. This is very important since we're going to be using those later. Next, bring your footage into After Effects, duplicate the video layer, then create a mask around the lights and animate it to follow the light like so. Next, we desaturated this, then added levels so that we could single out the bright area and black out everything else like so. Now we will add a black solid, put it directly below this layer, then pre-comp them together. Now we will hide this layer, then create another black solid and add optical flares to this one. In optical flares, if you click options, you get a screen that will give you a ton of great options for flares. So you can find one that fits your liking, then customize it even further if you want. But once you have the flare you like, change the source type to luminance, then set the source layer to that duplicated layer. Now set the optical flares layer to add, then adjust the scale and brightness of the flare you chose until you have the look you want, and you now have some delightful full flares happening. The great thing about this technique is that you can use it subtly to add a lot visually to many different scenes. Take this for example. We have a guy who comes in a room with a flashlight, searching around. Looks okay, but we drop in the lens flare technique and we have a lot more of a cinematic feel. So take advantage of this technique, remembering that you can slap flare onto pretty much anything bright in the scene, so go get all Michael Bay up on it. Be right back.
It's all the job. You wake up in the morning, you put on your armor, you eat some stuff, and you're doing the job.
That's how it is, man.
Sometimes it's rewarding, sometimes it's rough. I mean, downright bananas. But it's always the job.
It's the job, Barry.
We do a lot of patrolling. You got to keep the eyes on the prize. But you also got to keep our bodies right and ready at all times.
You guys carry weapons?
No, it's actually illegal for us to have firearms. But I got Damien. That's all the firepower I need. So now we're doing our basic patrolling. We drive through the area, grid by grid, scanning for perpetrators.
Sounds like a lot of work.
That's because it is.
We got one.
Looks like you're going to be seeing some action after all, my friend. All right, will you go around the back?
No time.
Section 6?
7.
Well, then you hold on to your pixie dust.
And one more click, and I'll be a proud owner of a .com.
Intruder! Are you an idiot?
Who are you?
You're about to buy yourself a .com.
Yeah.
For a video site.
Yes.
Did you know .tv is the best place to showcase your videos online?
I didn't.
With .tv, people know what they're getting. It's right in the extension.
Simple mathematics, Sandy.
Listen, I don't want to be rude, but I don't think you guys should...
You don't get tasted in the neck?
No.
And you listen, man.
Burn.
You want to showcase your sweet videos on the web, you need to get yourself a .tv. With .tv, you can control your content and look more professional than just having one of them YouTubers.
I got an itchy tasing finger.
Oh, God. What do you want me to do?
Just go to domain.com, search for the perfect .tv domain name for you, and then enjoy your path to fame and fortune.
That's it?
That's it.
Now?
Right now.
Beautiful.
You know, it's times like these that make it all worth it. Makes you just want to go back in there and share a drink with the perp. Congratulate them on their new site. But I'm pretty sure he called the cops, so we better go. Don't forget to use the coupon code FilmRiot at checkout to save an extra 15%.
Logo.
Done what?
Dude, that's the Cowboys and Aliens thing.
I know this is one of the things you guys most wanted a tutorial on. Stark did this in 3D Studio Max and we were very happy with how it came out, so I guess let's talk about it and stuff. Since Josh's wrist pretty much had no parallax to it, we really didn't need to 3D track him, we just tracked it later on in After Effects. So first, Stark took a good reference frame to use as the background in 3ds Max to line up correctly with the wrist thingy. Then we roughly measured the actual bracelet and modeled it to correct physical size so that the light would be as physically correct as possible. And the final model was made to look as flush against the side as we could possibly get it. Next, we animated the motion, which is pretty straightforward, as you can see. And now we need a texture. We looked for one that was visually close to the actual bracelet, although the color didn't matter as much because we could change that later. For the light that you see on the 3D object, it was just a self-illuminating material to give the surrounding objects illumination and look all lit. What have you. From there, Stark also rendered out a luminance matte for later use in After Effects with optical flares, kind of like we did before, but lastly, he rendered out the frames, and at this point, nothing is tracked yet, as we'll take care of that in compositing. And to composite, we'll move over to After Effects, so we'll bring in the plate footage of Josh, and then the rendered frames. Of course, we're working in 32-bit linear working space, which is 100% essential for perfect blending of layers, especially when using lights. Now it's time to track the bracelet, then attach our rendered frames to it, and voila, the fake CG object sticks perfectly. Now after we color match the CG assets to the plate and turn on motion blur so it matches the plate, the last step was adding the flares, which we did the same way I showed you before using that luminance matte. So just repeat those steps to add the lens flare and...
Dude, that's the Cowboys and Aliens thing.
we now have a moving Cowboys and Aliens wrist weapon of coolness. The history of CGI is a long one, including Westworld, Tron, and young Sherlock Holmes as major landmarks, but it wasn't until Cameron used it in The Abyss, and then again in Terminator 2, that gave the people behind Jurassic Park what they needed to convince Spielberg to give CGI a try for the dinosaurs. Originally, they were going to handle all the dinosaurs effects using stop-go animation, but once they tested it out using computer generation for this, they immediately switched and created some of the most iconic moments in film. And now 18 years later, still some of the best CGI work that I have ever seen. Well, that's it, my friends. Next week we have the Red camera coming in, so we're going to be showing some BTS stuff of what we're doing with it and me getting used to it and drooling all over it, I'm sure. And then the week following, we're going to have episodes actually on the camera, so super excited about that. But as always, if you want to stay connected, you can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Ryan_Conley and stay connected on our Facebook page. And I'll see you guys next week when I make a chick flick disguised as a manly action film, because no guy movie is going to have shirtless men in slow-mo playing volleyball. It's just not.
I'm making for some bone breaking.